What's up, guys? Red Devil Ace. Hope everyone is doing well, and I have a very special Aces point of view. And this one is a movie that's very near and dear to my heart because the character is very near and dear to my heart. And this has been one of my most anticipated films of the year, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. It just got released in theaters, and I've been so freaking excited to watch it. And I really wanted to watch it early, get and make a quick video as fast as I can while the thoughts are still fresh in my mind. And I've had a lot of hopes and anticipation as well as a lot of people have about this movie. That what like how does it compare to No Way Home? Is it just a nostalgia trip? Was it just for fan service? But I can tell you for a fact this was not just a nostalgia trip, and this was not just a fan service film, as most people saying that Doomsday is kind of hyping up to be. But this 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 movie introduced a lot of brand new dynamics, really fun action scenes, really engaging, and just the plot. I mean, you might as well call it Spider-Man: Brand New Day, Brand New Trauma, because the best Spider-Man films always end up like always have just Peter going through some really intense emotional baggage. And I just really wanted to put my point of view out there. If people are still wondering if this movie is going to be a film that can stay in the good graces of diehard fans and brand new fans, or is it a film that's worse than the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the US presidency put together? But thankfully, I found a lot of answers in the questions that I had going into this film. So, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, let's get into it. So, right off the bat, it does piggyback very, very strongly of the events of the last film, which was No Way Home, and basically, I can see that this film has taken a lot of inspiration from Insomniac's Spider-Man games because it takes place Peter years later as a more adapted Spider-Man, and just him just trying to be only Spider-Man, and it starts to catch up to him like that. Like, this is basically Jesus Christ. The type of shit that happens to Peter in this film is just ugh. And like, as you can tell from the trailers, that Peter's mutation has been progressing, and this film takes that to the fullest degree in one way or another. But honestly, I don't think ever since No Way Home or Spider-Man 2 has a Spider-Man film ever punched me in the gut and Spard kicked my heart straight out through my back like this film, because even though all the action scenes were incredibly satisfying, the plot was super, super solid, but oh god. I don't think I've ever seen a live action Peter Parker take so much emotional baggage in one go, because this movie freaking played with me when it came to certain parts of the plot. It's just Peter trying to balance out his Spider-Man life and his normal Peter Parker life. You really see the struggles unfold right in front of you, and with the inclusion of this mysterious villain that's been fighting Peter in more ways than one. Oh god, this film has the power to just rope you in, and you just can't do anything to stop the ride. But I will say that one of my favorite parts of the film, outside of the Easter eggs, outside from the references to the PS4 games, is just the way that Spider-Man and Peter Parker interacts with certain characters. And my most favorite has to be Spider-Man's interaction with the Punisher. Now, the Punisher, thank God he was not a one-off character. First and foremost, I just put out there is a lot of Frank Castle in this film, and right before watching this film, I did see the Hot Ones interview between Peter Parker and John Brent. Not bleh. I did see the Hot Ones interview with Tom Holland and John Bernthal, and the way they just interact with one another, this sort of little brother, big brother dynamic, it is very, very strong in this film, and it always just got a laugh out of me, just seeing Netflix Frank Castle interact with a Disney Spider-Man, and they could have given at least one F bomb, just one mother motherfucker. So now my editor is just censoring the absolute shit out of me, isn't he? Okay. All right. Well. Anyways, um, he does play. He does play a really big part in the climax and throughout the middle of the film, with Frank Castle having to help out Peter in a multitude of ways, that being vigilante wise and personal life wise. It was just really fun to see Frank Castle again in the MCU, and I really hope that Marvel Studios is a lot more with John Bernthal and Frank Castle as well. But outside of the Punisher, there is the mystery behind who Sadie Sink's character is. Now, I just want to say right at the bat, all the leaks with a certain Canadian and a certain Englishman being in the film, thankfully, those were not real. I didn't. Those certain characters that's been going around Twitter, I'm still not calling it X, about these two being a brand new date. Thankfully, they were not real. Thank God. But just Sadie Sink's character, oh god. I kind of predicted that this was going to happen, but what she did throughout this film is something that I couldn't have predicted. And the way that she was introduced, the way this character was introduced in the film, the background behind this character, and the type of shit that they gave this character, holy Jesus Christ. It was like watching an episode of Stranger Things all over again. Like, just the absolute horror element. Well, not necessarily like horror, but just Stranger Things shoving these characters, like shoving the group into just these emotionally damaging situations and horror, just just scarring the ever living shit out of this character. It was kind of like that with Brand New Day, and especially with Sadie Sink's character. Oh my god, just basically seeing her character and Peter also evolve as this film went on was something that Marvel has done wonderfully in the past, and thankfully they did not drop the ball with Brand New Day as well. And just the absolute inclusion of the Hand, awesome. But like again, like when it has its ups, it does have some downs, but it did have some downs in a good way. What I mentioned before, the emotional baggage that Peter has to go through in this film, specifically with his situationship with MJ, and oh my god, okay, there are two parts of this film that if anyone watched the film and is watching this right now, they know which two parts I'm talking about. One in a specific rooftop, and other in a specific yard, if or deck, I should say. It's just these two moments is still so very fresh in my mind, and I'm like, there is no way that they're fucking doing this to us. Just giving Peter these happy moments or these moments of hope, and then just wrench the hope off his chest. It hurt. It really, really, really hurt. Oh god. But just all in all, the callbacks to the past few films, the Easter eggs to comic fans and movie fans alike, and also a certain character that's been a really underrated fan favorite in the MCU, and in which character I'm talking about, that she was a really fun inclusion into this film, and I'm really happy that they kept the same humor that this specific MCU character had in past projects and past shows. It was just really fun to see her again, and honestly, this just shows that we're finally getting some good writers behind Spider-Man, and that Tom Holland was the Spider-Man that broke the three-movie curse, because I feel like the producers and the writers put a lot of pressure onto themselves with No Way Home, because of course that when it came to the Tobey Maguire trilogy, the third film was possibly the worst because it was way too overcrowded and they didn't know how to handle so many characters all at the same time. And we all know the about the problems with Amazing Spider-Man with its pacing, its character development, and its plot. Like the Marvel fan base has poked holes between Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 has poked holes between these two films for years, and they had to bring it all together with No Way Home with the inclusion of three Spider-Man and technically a Sinister Six. It was technically six villains, six Spider-Man villains, okay? Technically. And then right after the big film that was No Way Home, a lot of people have been wondering, like, what can Disney do with Spider-Man now? And thankfully, Spider-Man is a character that's been ever evolving in comics and in all sorts of media, including games, TV shows, and movies. And Brand New Day is really something to be admired. And Brand New Day was a film that did open the gates to, I kind of like, if Doomsday was this big, big, large green gate, then Brand New Day was the part of the key that opens that gate. And a lot of people will know what I mean after watching this film, because what Brand New Day left off, I feel like it can be picked up and transform into something amazing. And what this could mean for Spider-Man now, I am more than excited to see. What this could mean to the MCU in the future, they better not drop the ball. I swear, because right at the very, 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 very end of the film, and if you know what I'm doing with my fingers, there's a little bit of an Easter egg that could that I really could not make any sense of it even if I tried. But since I'm doing this early and right from the very beginning, if you want to see something that is emotional, action packed, well paced, well handled, all at the same time, Brand New Day is definitely the film to check out. And this, again, like in every single Ace's point of view that I've done in the past, that I would say that this is a film that is even better in theaters. This might be the best film I've made an Ace's point of view on. And that's counting Monkey Man, that's counting and that's counting the Smashing Machine, just all the Ace's point of view films that Ace's point of view videos that I've done in the past. This is something. This was a film that would have to be my most favorite that I ever made an Ace's point of view on, and I'm not just saying that just because I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm not saying that just because I'm a Marvel fan or a movie nut. That this was honestly an amazing, amazing film, and all props to the people who created this film. And right now, Spider-Man in the MCU is at an incline, and I don't see a decline anytime soon because Brand New Day just knocked it out of the park, brought in some new characters, new dynamics, new settings, new relationships, and I'm sure that MCU fans can rest easy knowing that Tom Holland and Zendaya are officially married. So if what happens in this film kind of breaks your heart, at least at least the real life couple is still going strong. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Each will really counts. It always makes my day. Uh, I honestly can't wait for Avengers Doomsday. Like, I know a lot of people has been talking shit about Avengers Doomsday because last minute decision, Kang Dynasty fell through, Doomsday kind of propped up, and people saying, oh, it's just a fan service film or just a nostalgia trip. Look, I'm here to say this right now. I'm actually kind of hype for Avengers Doomsday, even though uh, RDJ coming back as Doctor Doom. I don't know how they're going to twist that around because of RDJ's history as playing as Iron Man in that universe. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Hopefully, whatever they do doesn't rub people the wrong way. But some of the parts from that trailer, including the X-Men stuff and Shang-Chi and Gambit going at it, I really can't wait to see that fight unfold. I just have hopes. Not high, not low, just general hopes for the MCU. And really hope that when Secret Wars rolls around, hopefully, you know, people keep their hands to themselves in real life. That's all I'm going to say. But then again, once again, I'm saying this right now. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, watch it now. As soon as you can, while it's still in theaters, please treat yourself with this film. So that's really all I gotta say. Like I always say, get the blood boiling and the heart pumping. My name is Red Devil Ace, and I'll see you all next time.